All right, lads, welcome back to Inside MC, the podcast where I sit down with an amazing guest every single week. And this week, to make it the third person in a row, I think I've had on the podcast, whose name starts with S. This week, I'm joined with SB737.
Hello, glad to be here. Glad to be the third person in a row with S as well. I don't think you can keep that streak going much longer though, can you?
Next week's podcast has an S as well, as long as they don't reschedule on me. And I think after that, no,
it goes.
It's a weird fact. I just kind of looked at it and I was like, wait, I didn't realize I backed this up so much. I was like, okay, you know, we'll go with it. It works.
Amazing. So next it'll be T, all the ones beginning with T, and then all the ones beginning with R. Is that how you do it?
No, sadly not. It would be great. I just think getting creators on with them specific names is a lot harder. I mean, scheduling is rough, as I'm sure you're aware with the amount of collabs that you've done in your time as well. Creators are lovely people, not always the best at responding, however. So...
Why do you think I do most of my videos by myself?
Yeah.
I just know that if I'm by myself, I can do it when I need to do it, and there's no delays. Yeah, I know exactly what it's like.
That's the problem with InsideMC. It's a channel built on other creators. So, you know, I can do some videos by myself, but for the most part it's like doing a little collab videos or podcasts like this, which I hear today, which I'm very grateful for. Thank you very much, especially on a day like this as well. Piping hot.
The aircon's flowing though, so I'm here for the long haul. And
I have the fan, which I think is fine, but if it starts affecting throughout the podcast, I'm sorry listeners, I have to have it on. It's really hot in England, so it's been ages since I've recorded a podcast in like heat. I've kind of always seemed to dodge it last year. In 2023 it was quite bad. I did a lot in hot weather, but in 2024 I seemed to dodge it a fair bit, which was strange.
I mean, to be fair, we only get about a week of good weather in England anyway, so
true,
you've got more chance of dodging it than not dodging it, I think.
Before we carry on with the podcast and about yourself here, I always like to give the introduction for you to introduce yourself. So for anyone who doesn't know who are you, what do you do, and if you have a fun fact either about yourself or just a fun fact in general that you know, floor's yours.
Okay, I'm SB737. My real name's Daniel. I'm predominantly a Minecraft YouTuber. For the last, 4 years, I've mainly done Minecraft hardcore videos, like a lot of 100 days content. I still enjoy doing it. Don't think I'm anywhere near burnt out, so I'm just going to keep making videos for as long as possible. So yeah, YouTuber predominantly, but I also run Creator Merch, which is a merch company, and then I also have Blockheadz, which is another kind of merch company, but it's like it's more based around square, cube plushies as well. So that's kind of the main things I do in the space. General fun facts: I'm quite an active person. I actually touch grass, so I play football a couple of times a week. I tend to play golf, go to the gym a few times a week. So not your typical Minecraft YouTuber, I guess. But yeah, that's me.
We'll get into talking about it a little bit more later on, because I like to kind of keep a somewhat of a format of like talking about you and then kind of the stuff attached to you. But I just want to ask this while it's on top of my head. I always thought Blockheadz was like linked to Creator Merch in some way, but is the only way it's linked is because of you? Like, is it not linked in like themselves?
No, I guess it is linked because of me. I mean, it's the same like my company like oversees them both, if you know what I mean. They're like, my company's like the parent company, I guess is the best way to describe it. But they are separate entities, yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll get into talking about that later on. I just wanted to ask you what's on the top of my head. So, we got a few Twitter questions, which I always say to the end, but they kind of remind me of this. I don't want to say it out loud just in case I have wrote it wrong. What does SB737 stand for?
It stands for Sonic Boom 737, but there's a bit more of a story behind it, because when I first started YouTube back in 2012, I was really into speedrunning Sonic the Hedgehog. I've always liked Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
And so I would speedrun it a lot. I got a lot of like world records at speedrunning Sonic the Hedgehog. So naturally I made a channel around it and I wanted it to be like Sonic related. So I called it Sonic Boom. Back then though on YouTube, you couldn't just put a username that somebody else had. You had to have a different username to every single person. Now on YouTube, you can literally just be whatever username you want and it'll let you have it. So YouTube actually suggested, what about, it gives you a few options. It was like, what about Sonic Boom 737? And I was like, you know what? That sounds kind of cool. So I went with it. And then a couple of years later, I kind of wanted to branch out to other games other than just Sonic. I kind of wanted to grow on YouTube a bit more. I think I've got maybe 800-900 subs just doing Sonic, but yeah, I wanted to branch out, grow a bit more. So shortened it to SB737 just to be a little bit more general, and run with that ever since, really. I think like if I could start YouTube again, that's the one thing I would do, is I would have a name that's a little bit more iconic without numbers, but at the same time, like, I think I've made it work, like, so I don't know. I would have. Yeah, go on.
Oh, no, you go on. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't really know if I have anything to add, to be honest. But yeah, I don't mind the numbers now, but I think I would have preferred to not have numbers in the name, ideally.
Have you ever laid there then and thought about what your name could be? Like, do you have any ideas that you have here for another name, or is it just simply you'd want to go back and do something different?
For some reason, I always liked the name Neo, like Neo. I don't know. I just was parkouring one day and doing Neos, and I was like, Neo would be a cool name for a YouTube channel. So maybe I do that. I mean, I hadn't watched The Matrix at the time because there's a Neo in The Matrix, isn't there? But so it wasn't from that. But yeah, I guess maybe Neo. I don't know. It's a very academic question because I'm SB737 forever now.
I think that's the thing though. Like, I kind of see what you mean. For instance, like with the name Insane Orbits, I wish I could go back and change my name to just Orbits. Like, I wish I made the account where it's just Orbits. And not the word just, like literally just the word Orbits. There you go.
Yeah, that
so
makes sense,
I can see why people might misinterpret that, and like, or even just change it to not be insane. Like, because the only reason I had the name is because I was part of a clan, but then I left that clan when I started making YouTube. I could have easily done something else Orbits, but I did Insane Orbits, which is alright. It just doesn't flow. Like, I think the thing is, you've made your name iconic in a sense of like it flows. SB737, it's got a really nice flow to it. It maybe if you don't see it, I see it, I feel that way. But like with Insane Orbits, it's like it just feels so like long to say, so unneeded. So I shortened it down to Orbits, but I'm not Orbits. I'm Insane Orbits. It's like,
yeah, but I think if you get to a point where it's like iconic enough, the more you grow, you probably could become just Orbits. Like I think that happens with a lot of people. They start with multiple parts of the name, and it just gets naturally shortened as you kind of get a bigger audience. I think that's the way I look at it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of what happened with InsideMC. It used to be Inside Minecraft, and then it kind of just moved down to InsideMC because I was like, because when I advertise it to people, I'm like, especially people who aren't Minecraft creators, I'm like, it's just branded Inside Minecraft. It's not actually a Minecraft, like, it is a Minecraft podcast. The 95% of the guests who have come on are Minecraft creators, but at the same time, it's not Minecraft, it's MC, which stands for Minecraft, but that's not the point. It's still its own different thing.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to limit yourself, do you? I think that's the biggest thing. That's why things seem to get shortened to two letters, like Sonic Boom to SB, Minecraft to MC. It just takes away that limitation of being stuck in one genre, I think.
Also opens up branding stuff. I know it's why like MCC, for instance, moved from like Minecraft Championship down to MC Championship because of like branding and like selling stuff. I can't really sell stuff if my name is Inside Minecraft. Not that I plan to anytime soon, but if it ever does get to a point, I'd have Inside MC. I can sell stuff because it's a different name too, having the word Minecraft in it. And I don't know as much as the legals as you do. It's kind of just from what I gathered. I'm
glad I took Sonic out the name then. couldn't get any brand deals.
But I mean, I could be wrong, but like I'd like to assume that if your branding is around Sonic, it's great. But then if you wanted to sell merch, how do you really sell merch that has the name like something from Sega in it, or if you imagine you made your skin like about Sonic and your name was Sonic Boom with the skin of Sonic, like how exactly would you sell merch about that? It could just get to a certain stage, I guess. I don't know. Again, I've never looked into it. I'm just as more me assuming based on how the world works.
Well, I'm glad I went to a penguin then. That made my life a lot easier because I have no idea either.
Speaking of the name Sonic Boom though, you used to do a lot of Sonic speedruns, right? That's when you first started, that was kind of your main thing. Did you have any world records at the time?
Yeah, I must have got hundreds of world records. Because if you think about the earlier Sonic games, I've at least hundreds of tied world records because the earlier Sonic games didn't have milliseconds in the timer. It would just be like every second it would change. So you'd end up with a lot of people. For example, the first level of the original Sonic the Hedgehog is Green Hill Zone Act 1. That level, everybody just got 24 seconds as the record. You can't really get it any faster unless you do a tool assisted speedrun. So I don't know, there must be 50, 60 people that all have 24 seconds as the record. So stuff like that, I've got a lot of them. Untied world records, I got a lot. A lot of them since been broken, but I still hold quite a few Sonic world records at the moment.
That's insane.
I made a SB speedruns channel because I did Sonic speedruns on my main channel. Then I moved it to my second channel. And then I started doing other stuff on the second channel. I was like, I'm just gonna make a dedicated channel to speedrunning. So I did that. I don't really ever have time to speedrun. I really enjoy it. If I could do whatever I wanted on YouTube, I think I would be a speedrunner. And so I've in the last few years have got more world records in Sonic, and some of them are still standing. So it's something I enjoy. And I kind of understand the game, especially Sonic Generations. That's probably my best game at speedrunning. I understand that game super, super well, the deep mechanics of it, and all sorts of things. So I can find a lot of new shortcuts at times, or new tricks and stuff. So yeah, that is probably one of my when it comes to gaming, that's probably like my favorite hobby. But I never have time to do it, unfortunately, because I'm always playing Minecraft.
Is there a reason for that though? Is there a reason for that though? Like, is there something that stands out specifically about speedrunning and specifically Sonic, or is it just something like there's some things I like and I can't explain why I like it. I just like it. So is it one of that, or is there something behind it?
Good question. I think I just I like playing Sonic. I like the game. And I'm really competitive. I think I always want to be the best at things. And so I think just that idea of being like, okay, I've got the fastest time out of anyone here. This is such a rewarding thing. And like, yeah, it's a lot of resetting over and over again to try and get a faster and faster time. But when you actually do get that amazing run, like, I just love watching it back. Like, I'll watch it back multiple times. I'll even come back like a year later and watch the run again. And I'll be like, man, that was such a good run. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just proud of it. So I think
that's a good video.
Exactly. So but it's like, even like if I make a good Minecraft video, I very rarely go back and watch them. I might go watch the intro or something, but I ain't gonna sit through an entire SB737 video too many times. But speedrun, I guess they're only like 30-40 seconds long, so it's less of a commitment. But yeah, I guess that is what the kind of, I'm like, you know what, this is really, I'm just so proud of this, I guess. So yeah, that's how I'd best describe it, really.
Especially when you put in so much effort as well. It's like, because you have, like with a video, the thing is you can go back and you can watch it multiple times while you're editing it and make it, like, you can make mistakes because you can fix it in the same like sitting. Whereas with a speedrun, if you make a mistake, that's it, bang, restart, and that's it.
Exactly. And I think, I mean, even like speedrunning Minecraft, like, you know, I do enjoy that. I think I just enjoy the whole idea of speedrun in general. I also like the thing of like routing speedruns. So like, if it's not a super highly competitive category and there's not loads of people that have kind of all spent that time routing the best way to speedrun something, if it's, you know, a little less a lower competitive, then you can kind of go in and like work out the best route and like make something become way faster because you kind of logically worked out all the best steps to bring it all together. I think a good example is like recently Recrap did a video speedrunning 37 stacks of blast furnaces in Minecraft, and like, he's the first person to do that. So he's gone in and routed that speedrun, worked out what to do and stuff. And I'm mechanically not as good at speedrunning as Recrap, but like, I looked at that and was like, I think I could do that faster by like using other like tricks, routing stuff out, like working it out, and I'd quite enjoy that process. But it's just a time thing, you know what I mean? So I'd love to do more speedrunning even in Minecraft, but I think it's a case of, okay, well, is doing that more speedrunning going to be worth it for the channel? Like, if I did that video and it got over 1 million views, then I'd do more of it. So I think it's something I'd like to try and get into a little bit, especially with like the hardcore series ending. You know, I'd like to, you know, try and keep adapting my content and keep trying new things, but you've got to make it work as well. So it's a bit of a balancing act, really, I think. But yeah, I enjoy speedrunning in all aspects. I enjoy the routing side of it. And I just, you know, even speedrunning Sonic, you're just doing the same thing over and over again until you get the run. It's just kind of nice just to kind of mindlessly do it sometimes, I guess. Maybe that's the reason I like it. I don't know.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good answer. I think I kind of wanted to link it to something you said there when you were talking about the whole like making it into a video and if it does well, if it doesn't do well. I think that's the thing I like about InsideMC is, as much as I'd love this to be like a full-time gig, at the same time, because I'm a quote-unquote smaller creator and because my whole gig is kind of just with interviewing people, I don't have to worry too much about the content I make. Whereas this is your job, right? Like, at the same time as it being your job, you also got other things. Like you said, you play football, you do golf, like you have creator merch, you have Blockheadz, you have all this stuff, and obviously most likely other stuff going on in your life as well. It gets to a certain point where you just can't you can probably, but you have to really weigh up if it's worth it to take these risks. I mean, I'm speaking on your behalf here, so please tell me if I'm completely wrong. It's the kind of vibe I'd get, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. And there's nothing worse than spending 20-30 hours on a video and you think, I've done an awesome job, and then it flops. You know, it's because at the end of the day, you know, you've got to do what works. You've got to do what people want to watch. But at the same time, that's why I like having a second channel, because I think my second channel is a lot more me. And I still want the videos to do well, but it's a lot more me doing something that I want to do. And I'm like, if I make something that I enjoy and a dedicated second channel video, it will do well. You know, it's not gonna. I don't know. Main channel video has got to be high production and insane. Second channel video can be a little bit low production, and yeah, I just know it's going to do, you know, pretty decent. So I do like that aspect of YouTube. But when it comes to like what I put most of my time in, it has to be something that is gonna be successful as well, I think.
Your second channel is SB737 Plus, right?
That's right, yeah.
And most people, when they make a second channel, they kind of like, I guess, like rename it a little bit, or like, I guess change a thing. But you just added a plus. Is there a reason for that, or did you just like it?
I made a second channel a long time ago, and it was called More SB, all one word, which is a little bit more like what people would do.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that channel kind of fizzled out a little bit. And then I made SB737 Live, which, because I'd started streaming on Twitch, I'd been on the Shady Oaks SMP that like Squid and Dan TDM, I think Noodles and stuff were on. So I was like, I'm going to do these streams and I'm going to put them down, put them on this SB737 Live channel. That's going to be kind of like a stream videos channel. So did that, and then over time it just became like, you know, I'm gonna put other content on there. And actually Mini Mooka did a lot of the running of that channel for me, and he was like, oh, why don't we make like post compilations from your hardcore world? Why don't we put the first 1,000 days together and make it into a movie? So, you know, he came up with a few ideas with that. So it kind of just became my second channel that I just started being like, you know, we can just put that content on there, we can put that content on there. And then we were like, well, SB77 Live doesn't make sense, and he came up with the idea again. It was like, it should be just SB77 Plus. So we rolled with that, and it's, you know, that's been the case for a good few years now. It's SB77 Plus. So that's kind of how, yeah, that's kind of how it came about. I think around the same time, I don't know if we really got the idea from him, but I think Rotashaw, he did his was like W2S Plus as well. So I think it varies. Some people, yeah, they put a spin on it, but I like the fact that if you search SB737 into YouTube, second channel content comes up as well. Which is kind of like a model I try to follow. So that's why, you know, my SB77 Reacts, it could just be SB Reacts, but having SB737 in that channel name properly links it to me. Same with my Shorts channel. You know, I don't know if originally I had it that, or the idea was SB Shorts, but then it was like, no, SB737 Shorts, the branding's there, everything is kind of, it's just easier to find me then if I keep the 737 there, keep it properly named. So I think that's a pretty big factor in the naming as well. You know, like, you can get away with a second channel that has a different name if people find that channel and learn it, and your audience does. But I think they've got more chance of finding it if it has your name in it, because it'll come up in search and stuff.
That's smart. I like that. My Twitch alt account, which I never use, is called Insane or Bolt. That's what I was curious, like, because I made like a fun little play on a word, but I was like, actually, relatively speaking, like you've done there, is keeping it the same name is just smarter because it shows up both searches. I never really thought about it like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's like why I've kept the logo the same as well on all of them and just changed the background color, because it's just that, like, that branding is the same. And I think, you know, it doesn't seem like a big thing, but I think that branding, having that uniform, it probably does help. And I can't prove it with statistics or anything, because there's not really any way to show that. But I do think having the same branding across everything that you can, and then this as close to the same naming, I think it keeps everything under the same umbrella. They all feed off each other. You know, if one channel starts doing well with views, then the other videos are going to get recommended. You know, it just kind of creates a good feedback loop, I think, within the YouTube space.
Speaking of the branding, where'd the penguin come from? The
penguin. So I started Minecraft videos on the Xbox 360. So doing those videos, classic Steve skin for the first 15, 16 episodes. And I wanted to have a skin that no other YouTuber at the time had. So on the Minecraft Xbox 360 store, there was skin packs. So you had to then choose a particular skin pack. You had to choose a skin from the skin pack, I should say. So a lot of YouTubers at the time, you had like Stampy was you know, big at the time in the Xbox 360 space. Squid, loads of other Xbox 360 YouTubers. So I was like, okay, what skin has nobody got? I don't know why, but I kind of gravitated towards the animals kind of idea. And the penguin wasn't really... Yeah, exactly. Like, it seemed to work in the content space that if you're an animal, people are a little bit more drawn to your content, the personality, you know, you can just kind of build a bit more around it. So yeah, the penguin nobody had used, and I liked it. And I thought, you know, it looks kind of cool, kind of cute. I like it. So chose the penguin there, and that's not really how my skin looks like now though. So yeah, I don't know. The Minecraft Xbox 360 penguin skin and my current skin are a little bit different. The change happened probably about 6 or 7 years ago, when I spent a lot of time playing Bed Wars during that time. You know, and Bed Wars was like at its peak hype. So a lot of time playing Bed Wars, and I was still mad that the Xbox 360 skin I was just I'd transferred it across to Java Edition. And then I was kind of focused on doing win streaks. It was a lot around like the time Technoblade was doing the win streak stuff, and I wanted to get win streaks. So I was kind of playing with these good players, and we kind of just, I can't remember what we called it, like the win streak team or something like that. Win streak, I don't know what it was. Yeah, something with win streak in the name anyway.
Okay.
And they made these skins, all of us, and it was basically like my skin is, with the sunglasses in like the onesie kind of a thing with a hood, all of that sort of stuff. And each member of it had a different color. So one was like purple, one was lime green, and they made me a grey one. So I put that skin on for when I'd play Bed Wars, and then I'd kind of generally try and take it off and change it back to my skin when I made videos, but sometimes I'd forget, so I just record in that skin. A lot of Friend or Foe, the first season of Friend or Foe, it was kind of like started in the other skin, and then it became me just wearing that skin because I was always on Java Edition. So, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep using this skin. And eventually I just started using it all the time. I was like, it kind of looks cool and stuff. So I just kind of changed to that skin, really. But that's where the skin came from. Somebody made it for me in Bed Wars, and I've used it for the last 6 or 7 years.
So we had a funny story. We have a bit of a similar role, not in regards to time frame. Mine was a bit later and longer, but the same idea is. So I started off playing Xbox 360. At the time, I have like a really old channel that's I'm locked out of. I don't even know the email to it. Called Boy Gamer 909. I have 2 videos on that channel from like when I was like 12, 11. And I was wearing the eye ballistic squid skin because of the whole animal thing. And then when I made Inside Orbits, I was originally just like a planet logo. And then kind of similar to your idea with the animal, I realized that in my community, the people who got more views all had like people as their profile picture. So then I eventually gravitated and commissioned someone to make like me into like a person with a mask covering my eyes with like planet logos on it, because it was then to still keep the branding. And then like last year, someone called Random Tangerine, they drew this like piece of art of me, which is me, but instead of me being a human, I'm planets. Like it's an actual planet person. Still my branding. And I was like, oh my god, this is so sick. So that's like my branding now. But in regards to the format, so I also did Xbox 360. I used to be in someone's videos. They're all deleted now. I can't find it. Then I moved over to Xbox, and then I made Xbox content for YouTube. And then on like a new channel, like when I was actually kind of starting to want to probably take it seriously. And then I moved over to PC eventually, like 3 years ago, maybe? No. I moved over to PC like 3 years ago. I started making Java content April 2023. So like it's like the same kind of format of going from Xbox 360 eventually into PC, but obviously different kind of contents. So
kind of that gravitation towards PC. I don't know why I changed. I mean, I guess PC is just easier to be good at, if you know what I mean. Like you just look good because you've got a mouse in your hand and stuff. You look like a better Minecraft player compared to someone with a controller.
Easier to record as well.
It is just easier to record, yeah. So I think maybe that's why the gravitation happened. And there's just Java Edition is just better. Like I just personally I find it to be a better version. Especially, I mean, Bedrock has got a lot better, and 360 was a really good version. The Xbox, you know, like the original Xbox One version before it changed to Bedrock was really good as well. But I just think the servers on Java, the ability to mod on Java, and it just to me now, maybe because I've played it so much, it just feels a lot smoother. So I think that's probably why I ended up gravitating a lot more to PC, especially that's where a lot of SMPs happen and stuff, isn't it, on Java Edition.
I tried going back and like I was gonna stream it, so I was like, I'll play like 1 or 2 games just to give it a go, like playing the Hive on Bedrock Edition. Oh, like not the server's great for a Bedrock player, but once you play Java, like it's so like Bedrock is so clunky, so messy. It's like, you know, everything feels more zoomed in, even though you're using a high FOV. I can't explain it. It's just like and just I can't go back.
Isn't it? Yeah, just so different. I did a few 100 days on Bedrock videos, maybe like 6 months ago, 5-6 months, and they were a similar kind of experience where I kind of got used to it, but I can just tell it's just different. You know, it's just really, really so much is different that you don't expect, but when you actually play it, you just notice it.
Yeah, and once you played both, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Which you wouldn't notice if you just played Bedrock. You wouldn't notice if you just played Java, or even just watching. But then when you actually play it for yourself for a long period of time, you're like, oh man, this is different. It's just this little sort of thing is different. I don't know why, but it is, and it's an interesting change. It's an interesting thing that they still haven't managed to get parity between Java and Bedrock, despite how much they seem to try. They are just still quite far apart, really.
It's a strange concept. Do you have anything else to say about that? Like, it feels like you was going into something narrow. Is that all you had to say?
I think that's all I've got to say. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. I was just curious if you had any thoughts about it specifically, because as I used to be one of the people who are like whatever did. This was before I played Java. I was very much like Bedrock's the future, guys. Look at these Bedrock creators all growing. Give them a chance. Bedrock is so cool. Look at what we can do. And then I play Java and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Why was I like that?
Even just the fact that like on Java, you've got replay mod, you've got flashback now, and which straight away you can make the production quality better. I guess I'm just used to Yeah, I'm used to like the farms mechanics, the redstone mechanics. Like I'm just used to so much on Java, and I guess they just work differently to a lot of things. But I think you can do maybe it's because there's more people in that play Java. Can do it feels like you can do more stuff in Java, but I suppose I don't know. More people don't play Java. More people play Bedrock, but I guess maybe more technical people play Java. But there's a technical Bedrock community, so they're just different. But I guess because I'm used to Java, that's just feels better to me.
I think the issue with that stat there, though, of like Bedrock having more players, like as much as it's true, it's also a bit skewed in the fact that Bedrock is on PlayStation, Xbox, mobile phone, Kindle, iPad, whatever, like, and PC. Like I feel like it's very much like it's a true stat, but at the same time, it's a bit. I don't know, just because it has... this is going to sound really, really weird. It'll only make sense if you understand what I'm saying. But just because it has more players doesn't mean it's more popular.
Yeah, it's just because a lot of, especially, I think, younger children, they only have, like, an Xbox or a PlayStation or an iPad. You know what I mean? Like, PC gamers are generally a little bit older, but PC gamers, generally will play other games as well as Minecraft, whereas, I don't know, I think it varies just the age of what age people play Minecraft, but... yeah, I think a lot of people just have a console, so they play Minecraft on the console.
We've talked a lot about like Minecraft and kind of your journey through Minecraft specifically here, but what made you gravitate towards it in the first place? Because obviously, as we're aware, when you first started your channel, you did Sonic speedruns. The stat could be wrong here, but as far as I'm aware, on January 24th, 2015, you hit 1,000 subscribers. Well done. And
thank you.
Norris. And also, like, when you kind of went over to Minecraft, like when you was kind of making a little switch in, you were also doing a bit of Five Nights at Freddy's content as well before kind of jumping straight into Minecraft. So like what attracted you to it in the first place?
You doing your research. He's delved into the archives of the SB737 channel.
I do as much research as I can. I will give credit here to Roman. I have someone who helps me do research because I do a lot with InsideMC. So I'm like, you know what, you can help me do the research if that's okay. And she's like, yep. So I have them, but I also did a little look myself as well. Yeah.
Nice one. So I wanted to grow on YouTube. I think that's the biggest thing. Like I'd never really properly played Minecraft. Maybe a couple of times at my friend's house I'd randomly play it, but I didn't really know how to play, didn't really know anything about it. So my first Minecraft video was pretty much my first time of me properly sitting down and playing Minecraft, and especially like making a new world. So yeah, I think the big reason though that I went with Minecraft is because of the scope of growth there. It wasn't a case of I loved Minecraft so I decided to make videos on it, because that's just not true. I do enjoy making Minecraft videos, and I really have enjoyed doing that, but it wasn't the original reason. Actually, one of my friends, he said to me, like, you need to try Minecraft because it's such a big game and stuff. So that was kind of one of the ideas. Also, the fact that my sister would just be sat next to me, I'd be playing Sonic, and she'd be watching like Stampy and Squid on YouTube all the time. So and I was like, well, I could probably do what they're doing and making videos. So that was another little factor, I suppose. And then yeah, so we're talking October-ish time, end of October, I think I started Minecraft in 2014. 2015 in January, I got 1,000 subscribers. Definitely saw more of a growth due to Minecraft. And then, but I still enjoyed doing other things, as you say, like I did a little bit of Five Nights at Freddy's. I think I still did the odd Sonic videos. I think I did random games like Cat Mario, or, I did all sorts of little Let's Play kind of things. And then I think I always knew, and the same friend that told me that Minecraft was like, you should just become just a Minecraft channel, because that is what is going to help you be most successful. And I kind of knew, I need to just kind of slowly, you can't just flick a switch and change straight to only doing Minecraft, I guess. But I slowly knew I need to become a Minecraft channel if I want to be successful on YouTube. And for me, success on YouTube at the time was, I'm doing my A-levels in sixth form, and I finished them in, well, couple of years, I guess, at the time. So I was like, I want YouTube to be a job. It's not I want 1 million subscribers. It's not even I want 500,000 subscribers. It's I just want to get enough views every month so that I can do YouTube as a job. That was my goal, and doing Minecraft was the best way to get there. Like I say, I enjoy Minecraft. I've still the reason I'm probably still doing it is because I do enjoy making Minecraft videos. Otherwise, I don't know how I'd have survived. So yeah, I think that's the best way to put it, that it was mainly for growth was the reason that I chose Minecraft, and I knew that phasing the other things out eventually was going to be the best thing, because Minecraft is what people wanted to watch, I suppose.
When was it you kind of truly felt like you'd not mastered YouTube per se, but you have a lot of subscribers, like, so you've done something right. At what kind of point did it turn around to and you went like, yeah, like I've kind of got this in the bag? I think the issue of YouTube, and this is my own feelings here, this isn't a fact, it's just, it might be a fact, who knows, it's my own feelings, is it's like very much become a thing of like, for instance, I do InsideMC as passion, for fun. And it doesn't mean that I don't want it to do well. Like I do sometimes change things to make it work well. But relatively speaking, a channel like InsideMC is going to be very, very hard to grow if it does get to the point of growth because of the content I make. Whereas like certain aspects of Minecraft, and you kind of said there, you can't just jump into Minecraft. You can't just switch the game you're playing. I think it also kind of applies to you can't just switch what you're doing in Minecraft. Like I couldn't just randomly start doing SMP content. And I mean, okay, maybe SMP content could do a bit better, but I couldn't just randomly start become like a Minecraft Lucky Block channel, for example, right? Like it just wouldn't work out too well. So like what point did you kind of turn around and feel satisfied, like, yeah, what I'm doing is good, or like you kind of sat back in your chair and went, yeah, I've cracked the code? Like there must have been a moment.
I think, I mean, there's always a point where I knew that YouTube was a stable job, and like I kind of knew what I could do to get views, but I think I've always had to like adapt my content to like stay relevant. I don't know if that's the right word, but like to stay like in the game of YouTube, of being able to keep growing and stuff. Like if I'm still doing the same thing that I was doing 10 years ago or 8 years ago, since it's been a job, then it wouldn't have worked. So you have these little moments of little things that just work, and like adapting the content and stuff and changing things. So I think I've kind of kept doing that. But I think the biggest turning point was probably, we're talking COVID time. COVID hits, let's say March, April 2020. I start getting so many views because everyone's off school, everybody's watching YouTube. So I had like I think I got 40 million views in a month or something, which before I was maybe getting like 10 million views in a month. But that didn't really translate to a lot of subscriber growth. It was just like people were just watching a lot of videos. So I then went ahead and contacted Daryl Eves, who, for those that don't know, he's a bit of a YouTube strategist. He's worked a lot with Mr. Beast. He understands a lot of YouTube. He's been doing it for a long, long time. So kind of contacted him for like a channel audit. I think it costs about $5,000. So this is in, I think, September time. He did the audit.
What year again? Sorry, what year was this?
2020. Okay.
Oh, okay, all right. So just
so
during COVID, that would have been, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much during all the lockdown stuff.
Yeah.
So I've just hit 1 million subscribers at the time, and I'm like, I am never gonna grow any bigger. It's taken me 8 years or something to get to 1 million. I really have always wanted to get to 10 million. That's like my YouTube goal, and I'm like, that's never gonna happen unless I change something. So contacted him, and he really just changed my mindset a lot. It was a lot of, before I just kind of was doing what I thought would do well based on experience, maybe slightly looking at other channels, but he really changed my mindset of like, okay, you need to look at analytics and focus on your click-through rate, your AVD. Even he'd say something like, with the average percentage views, he's like, is there any way we can get that up by like 4% or something? And that sounds like nothing, but that little 4% is a huge thing, really, isn't it? Yeah. So, well, he has the slogan that small tweaks make big peaks. If you do a lot of small tweaks to your content and channel, you will see big peaks. So I kind of worked a lot. Well, to be honest, so we did a 2-hour call. He kind of told me what he does like how, when he looks at a channel. The call was recorded. I went back through it, made notes, and like just did everything that he said. And I also had my Minecraft Xbox series. I stopped doing that, moved it onto another channel because it was kind of just a bit disjointed from the content I was doing. Like it didn't have face cam, a little bit more like role play-ish survival. So I stopped doing that on the channel, which a lot of people didn't really like, and it was kind of a risk, something I'd done for 500 episodes of to move away from it. But so then I think I just mainly started doing Minecraft book content, but I'd had my face cam in, so I'd do various challenges that way, and I just kind of focused on what's going to get the best CTR, what are the other successful channels doing, how can we improve AVD. Like, I'd never focused on AVD properly before, and this time and then I did. So all these little things. And then it was like the beginning of 2021. I'd already seen somebody a couple of months prior do 100 days in hardcore Minecraft and get loads of views. And I was like, I'll probably wait until like summer to do that, because that's a great video and it'll get loads of views, and I want to maximize the time of the year for the views. So I was waiting, but then somebody else did it. I think it was Fru did it. So I think it was Calvin that did it the first time I saw it got loads of views. And then a few months later, Fru did it and was getting millions of views. And I was like, can't wait any longer. I've just got to do this now. So I did it in January, I think. And it was, as long as, at the time, it was the video that took me the longest to make, really. So did that, posted it, and it And already my channel had been growing quite a bit. I'd gone from maybe getting 100k views to 400k views just by focusing on analytics. And the video was like an 8 out of 10. And I was like, man, this sucks. I put all this work into it, it's not doing well. Like, changed the thumbnail loads to try and make it work. We didn't have A/B thumbnail testing back then. Nothing really stuck. But then like 2 days later, it just kind of picked up and just kept getting views. So by the time like a week had gone, I think it had got close to 1 million views in a week, which was, you know, a lot of views at the time. And I was like, okay, I need to do a 200 days. So I did a 200 days video and it just took off straight away. Like all the people from the 100 days were watching the 200 days. YouTube knew the audience. Then 300, 400, 500, I was getting like on trending for gaming. I was like, this is crazy. Like everything's taken off. Straight up 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000 days. They were just all huge. And it was like, it was crazy. It was crazy to see. Now, at the same time, as a follow-on from Daryl Leaves, like speaking, doing the consultation with him, he also had his jump starter course, which I think is maybe a 6-week course. I can't remember the exact length of it. Anyway, I think that was another $5,000. I signed up to that after the audit thing. So I was like, you know what, it's helped me there and I need to learn more. And I did learn so much. So at the same time of all these 100 days stuff happening, I'm doing this course. So I feel like I'm making my content better at the same time. I'm doing Minecraft book videos. They're getting millions of views. The 100 days is getting millions of views. And it's also like part of the course was like setting yourself goals. And one of the things he kind of motivated me to do was like do 100 days every week, because nobody else is doing that and you've got to make hay while the sun shines. So this is the time to work as hard as you can and just lock in, because all the other people doing 100 days, I don't think anybody made them as frequently as I did. So I was like, and people were like, how are you doing them every week and stuff? And but I was like, I just have to work as hard as I can, because there's going to be a point where 100 days content doesn't do well. There's going to be a point where all these stars aren't aligning, and I just have to take advantage of it. Like I'd say now in 2025, 100 days content doesn't really do that well. It's not like a surefire bet. So I'm so glad that I did take that opportunity when it was a good time to do it, basically. So that was kind of what happened, and like the 100 days content kept doing well, and I kept trying to use the analytics to keep it going, keep it doing well. And it's a great feeling when you kind of analyze a bunch of video stats and then you work something out and then you apply it to the next video and the next video does really well, like you know, all sorts of stuff like that. So I think that period of doing the stuff with working with Daryl Leaves, you know, coming into 2022 was the best year I'd ever had for views. That was where and I kind of knew why it was doing well. Obviously the trends helped, but I was able to take advantage of the trends. And so I felt like that's when I'd kind of, you know what, I've got Minecraft, I've got YouTube down here. Like I understand what makes a good YouTube video. I understand what I need to do. So I think that's the case. But also at the same time, I feel like you never perfect YouTube. I'm still learning all the time. It's easy to kind of rest on your laurels, because, you know, it became a point 2022. I could have kind of uploaded anything in a way and people would watch it, because that's what was happening. You know, I'd have to really do something stupid to get a video that performed badly. But as you know, as Minecraft has kind of fizzled out over 2024, this year, Minecraft is not what it was. There's not really a, you know, proper trend, I wouldn't say, at the moment. There's little mini trends and stuff, but nothing crazy. That's where I feel like I am again in the adapting phase of content. I'm like, okay, I've got to find the next thing. I've got to work out what's going to work next. But I feel like so much better equipped to do that. So that's another reason why I kind of decided to end my hardcore series, because I'm like, the key to staying, you know, and growing on YouTube is keep adapting your content, and you can't just keep doing the same thing forever, because if you keep doing the same thing forever, that'll just be all you ever do, and it will trail off and fizzle out for 99% of channels. So, you know, I think in my adapting content phase, I think I can make Lifesteal the next main thing for my channel for the next couple of years. But it's trickier, because Minecraft isn't quite where it was, and I think it will come back. And there's been periods of like this over the last 8 years all the time where Minecraft's in a bit of a trough. It'll come back up again. You've just got to like hang in there during the troughs, keep making your content better, and keep doing the best you can. And when Minecraft comes to a peak, then you're going to be there, you're going to be ready, and you will reap the benefits of still being around and being relevant, and you still know how to make good videos. You know what I mean? So I think that is my answer to the question anyway.
No, it's an amazing answer. Thank you. I wanted to pick up on something you said. I hate this part when you give me this really, really good answer, because it is amazing, but I only pick up on one specific thing. I want you to know that I have listened to it. I just always feel bad on the podcast. I'm like, oh, this is such a good answer, but I'm just going going to pick up on one specific. I think you're the first person I've ever talked to who has purchased like a YouTuber course. I guess it's not your typical YouTuber course. Like, it's not a YouTuber like Jake Paul branding it as that, but you get the idea. I think like you're the first person I've talked to who has genuinely went into that and walked away with it really satisfied.
Yeah, I always kind of worked off the principle of like, it can't hurt, you know, like what have I got to lose? $5,000, okay, which is a lot of money to lose.
yeah, it's a fair bit.
But it's like, I don't know. I'm an investing person. You know what I mean? I'm like, what's the point of having that sat in my bank account when there's a chance that it could help? So it was kind of a what have I got to lose mentality. And I knew when I did it, I'm like, right, I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna apply everything that's said, and I'm gonna really trust the process. So that's what I did. You know, I worked hard. I did everything he said. Trust the process. I guess I chose the right course because then I was looking. I think I'd looked at more than one potential thing for it. I think because I was just generally researching YouTube and I think I came across Daryl Eves from one of his YouTube videos, and then I went to his website and I was like, you know what? Why don't I give it a go? And it paid off, which is a bit of an understatement, I suppose. I don't know if I think things would look a lot different if I hadn't spent that time with Daryl. But yeah, he knows his stuff. That's what I'll say. He definitely knows his stuff, and I owe a lot to his knowledge of where I am today, without a doubt.
You also mentioned about the little like dips and the growth within like Minecraft. I think as well, like a lot of people that I've talked to behind the scenes and stuff, they're still stuck in this mindset that they need to get out of, and it's like, so during COVID my numbers peaked as well. Like I don't know if the Insane Orbits like channel, which I kind of neglected, if I carried on making those videos and actually stuck at it, they could have ended up doing well. Like during COVID I was getting 50,000-60,000 views a video on some of them. Before COVID I was doing tutorials and getting 100,000 views a video. Now I always turn around to people, I'm like, if I carried on doing tutorial videos I would have hit 100,000 subscribers years ago, but I didn't want to do it because I didn't enjoy it. I've always kind of followed my passion, and I feel like I'm finally settled down with the podcast. I mean, I've been doing this now for like 2 years and I'm very happy. It feels very consistent with it. But when you talked about the highs and lows, a lot of people had their peaks during COVID. Like I was averaging 70 viewers. I was nearly hitting partner numbers, right? And a lot of people turn around now and go, well, I just don't have those numbers anymore. Like I've fallen off, blah, 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 blah. And like what I don't realize is like that was genuinely COVID numbers, and that's kind of linking into what you said. And you weren't speaking COVID specific, it's just in a general senses. Minecraft has its ups and downs. I think 2025 there's been a bit more traction towards Minecraft. Maybe that's just because I'm more in the community than a lot of people. I sense it a little bit more because of the amount of people I talk to. But I feel like with the updates and stuff, people are starting to get back into it. I reckon in about 2026, late 2026, early 2027, Minecraft will have just a random peak of interest again. I think up until then it's going to be steady, but in like that time we'll see like when, do you know like how Minecraft had its death and then like PewDiePie started playing it and the Sidemen started playing it and they saved Minecraft and bought this traction, blah blah blah. I think we'll see that at the end of 2026, start of 2027, something along those lines, just based on like talking to people and stuff.
I think like a part of the last resurgence of Minecraft, they like released the aquatic update, which was very different to any update they'd done in a while. Like a lot of the updates were a lot more quality of life with a few small features in, and that was like once a year. There wasn't a lot going on in Minecraft, and then the aquatic update was massive. It had so much in it, revolutionized so many things, and it was an awesome update. Like it did add so many cool things, and a lot of people returned to Minecraft because of that. Then the Village and Pillage update, another really good update that made Minecraft a lot more fun to play, and it gave you something to do. And then they just like did a little mini October drop of the Buzzing Bees update or whatever it's called. So they added bees, but then just 1 year after the Village and Pillage update, they did the Nether update, which was a massive update again that revolutionized the Nether, and so many people were making content around that. So many people were playing the game because it was fun. And then they had this the cave update was the next big update, and the stuff they had lined up for it is so awesome. They had to split it into 1.17, 1.18, 1.19, which kind of slowed it down a lot in the release. But Minecraft was still good because what they were adding was really, really good. So 1.17 was a bit like, this isn't great. 1.18 was awesome because the caves then became massive. It felt like, again, we're playing something brand new. There's the terrain just looks so much better now that they've changed that. But obviously it was such a massive undertaking, they needed longer to do it. And then 1.19, the warden's such a cool thing. People, I feel like, love massive, like they love new bosses, they love scary stuff, they love stuff like that. And then there's like, okay, 1.20, I believe that was a Trails and Tales. It's like, what did they really add? The sniffer. I don't, was that 1.20?
I
You know, they added
yeah, something along those lines. They just added this new useless mob that's really hard to find and no one uses.
exactly. Although for some reason the sniffer would get you a lot of views if you built a farm for it, or randomly the sniffer would get you loads of views. People
Well, of
seem
course
to love it.
it's a new mob, that's why. But people actually don't actually care about it. It's just something new, so they're like, "Oh, interesting." And then it fizzles
Yeah.
out.
Although it's weird though, because a lot of mobs have been added. But if you look at trends, sniffer or it for some reason got a
Oh,
massive
you mean
peak.
just specifically sniffer? Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, for some reason the sniffer, if you did a video based around it, it would do well. But anyway, other than that, there wasn't really anything exciting. They had camels, like it was just like it was a lackluster update, in my opinion. You know, like it wasn't that good. Archaeology, like people aren't really that interested in it. And then 1.21 was cool. Like the trial chambers are cool, but it's too small. Like you'd go on the trial chambers, you'd do a few trial chambers, and you've pretty much done the update. I understand you can, you know, it takes a little bit longer to do an ominous trial and get a mace, but still, in a few hours, you've got the mace, you've done everything you need to do. The update's done. Not like a massive thing of exploring. So I think until they do at least one, maybe a couple back to back, like good updates, then Minecraft isn't going to see that peak again. So yeah, they seem to be doing a lot more quality of life updates. You know, then a little thing. We added a player locator bar, happy gas, different wolf variants. You know, like there's a lot of little.
I think the happy gas is cool. I quite like that.
Happy gas is cool, but it's not like revolutionizing enough of the game.
Elytra is still the main travel source. There's still not much use to use a happy gas other than to be like, oh, this is fun. But Elytra is still going to be your main gig for getting around in the skies, etc.
Exactly, I agreed. Like you just in a year's time, unless other than I think building underneath something that's in the air, happy gas doesn't have too much of a use. So I think in a few years, like everyone's going to forget about happy gas. But happy gas, it's a cool little feature, but it's not enough for someone to be like, oh, this is an awesome update in my opinion. So I think if they do the end update, I think that absolutely goes hard because it would have to be big. There'd be a lot in it. They should add a new boss or something alongside it. Most Minecraft mods add a load of new bosses and new dimensions because that's what people like and that's what people want to do. They want to. I feel like having more stuff to explore, more stuff to find, just make it feel like you're playing something that's a little bit different, a little bit less mundane, is what I think Minecraft needs. So yeah, I think an end update. I think at some point they should add a new dimension. I think more bosses, but like stuff that's hard to do, you know, like it should take you like quite a lot of hours to do something. There needs to be more for like later game players. I think a lot of it sometimes is just catered towards putting it easy, but I understand they have limited time of what they can do, so it's a balancing act. But I think the updates, the quality of the updates affects a lot as to whether people come back to play Minecraft or whether they come back and like, oh, there's an update, let's check it out and play it for a couple of hours. We've done everything, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Whereas if the update keeps you entertained for a lot longer, I think that helps as well, because then there can be a lot more content based around Minecraft on YouTube, and it's just a much better feedback loop in my opinion.
I think what I'd love to see is something that has a risk factor. I mean, I think the Warden's cool, but realistically speaking, it's not really the scariest thing once you realize, like, it's quite easy to navigate, mine, blah, blah, blah. I think, like, I know people can easily limit themselves and they don't, but for instance, people who are playing hardcore worlds and have full netherite armor and 10 totems in their inventory and all this kind of jazz, there needs to be something that, like, because if you limit yourself, it's cool, but at the same time, it gets a bit, like, boring. So, like, yeah, like, you know, I'm using this full level armor, I'm not using a totem or whatever, blah, 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 but there's still no risk factor here. There's still nothing that's really getting me scared. And I think if they added something to the end, or added this new dimension that just made the Ender Dragon, but like a crap ton harder, like really, really hard. Something that you don't have to explore, but if you wanted to, you can. And I think, you know, that'd be a great update to Minecraft.
I agree. I mean, when the Warden was added and I battled the Warden for the first time in my hardcore world, that video did so well because everyone wanted to be like, oh, I want to see SB go against this boss that can defeat you in 2 hits technically, you know what I mean? So I think, yeah, adding stuff that's a little bit harder doesn't have to be part of the main game, but there's nothing that hard in Minecraft. I think they should add like some sort of harder hardcore mode that kind of makes it a lot more difficult. I think that would be a good addition, because let's be honest, yeah, Minecraft hardcore is too easy, and as soon as you make something official, it just gains so much more traction. Like, I understand, you know, we can use mods to make it so you only have half a heart, or, you know what I mean, to make the game harder in all sorts of ways. But as soon as you make like an official update of something, it does gain a lot more traction because the wider population of people will try it. So yeah, I think a harder game mode would be a good idea as well of Minecraft.
I think as well, like when it comes to like servers and stuff, and Bedrock has it all right where they kind of have these promotion servers like the Hive, they have CubeCraft, there's like featured servers. But when you look at the likes of like Roblox and Fortnite, who have added this like creative mode where Roblox you can upload all these different kinds of maps, anything you want to play you can play. I think like that's also where Minecraft kind of fails a little bit, is like growing your server is really hard, and the fact that they don't ever promote it. Like on Java Edition, the only way to find servers is through finding links for other people, and they don't have this official featured page. I think also like things like that like need to change as well, where they, I mean, people have been saying this for years, but if it does actually change, then it could be really good.
Yeah, I agree. I do trust that Microsoft knows what they're doing in making Minecraft last for a long time, but I still think, yeah, I don't know. I always think the updates could be better.
No, I get
it. There were some good ones, you know, in that time. Like I say, I think 1.13 to 1.16, 1.18, even up to 1.19 were great. But I feel like the last few, have just, I watched Minecraft Live and I'm like, this is a little bit disappointing. Is that all we're gonna get?
You did a nice little transition earlier, which, because I was going to bring it up, is talking about your hardcore content. So that was quite a big thing. You probably remember, but I was meant to interview you at the Minecraft premiere, but they stuck me on the other side when none of the creators came in, which is heartbreaking. And I got stuck behind this lovely lady. She was quite nice with her kid, and I recognized Preston Plays. And then she turned around to me and be like, "Wait, Preston Plays?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh my god, my son loves Preston Plays," and just started screaming at him. And then he eventually came over, but creators weren't allowed to come over to our section. Anyways, I had a question prepared for you. Sorry?
That's very annoying, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, I've really long-winded this point. But I had a question for you that I had planned for when we did the in-person interview. That I want to ask now. Over the course of your now 10,000 day series, what were 3 of your favorite moments?
Over the course of 10,000 days, 3 favorite moments. Ending it? No, I don't think that's
Bearing in mind, this was meant to be for a TikTok interview, so feel free to go longer since it's a podcast.
Yeah, that's a good question. 3 favorite moments.
But you can do more, like just general. It doesn't have to be like, oh, my 3 best moments. Like, what are some of the things that come to mind as soon as I ask that question?
I liked the first 1,000 days. I think that was a cool like achievement. And it was a very hype moment. Like I kind of released a poster alongside it, which was like the first time I ever properly released a bit of merch. So that was quite a cool moment. What else? I think certain farms, like I got a bedrock. I managed to get a bedrock item and like kind of make it like a sort of a farm, a bedrock item farm. That was really cool because that was like, I had to really think about that and spend a lot of time researching it because it's such a complex thing to do. So I enjoyed that process. I think I did one where I made a weather machine, where like you could manipulate lightning and stuff. So like it would just like lightning strike loads and loads and loads in one spot, and then you could get loads of skeleton traps and stuff. I really liked that. I think that was a cool process. On 2,900 days, I went to the world border, which doesn't sound that exciting now because every hardcore YouTuber has gone to the world border. But I was pretty much the first one to do it, and I did it within 100 days because I researched like this cool trick to like lag another dimension of the world and chunk load that, and then it made the time move slower, so I managed to do it within 100 days. And I was like, that's just a cool innovative thing. And then the video after that, 3,000 days, I built an end of light farm, which was my first time using update suppression. And like now looking back, I'm like, I understand it. It's all simple. But at the time, it was so technical and stuff, and it took me so long to work it out. But by the end of it, I was like, wow, I'm really proud of what I've done here, you know. So I think those are definitely some moments. You know, when I build something, I'm like, I'm just genuinely impressed with what I've built. I'm proud of it. I think that's the easiest way to describe it. I can't think of any other moments. I mean, ending it was a cool moment. I'm not saying it's necessarily my favorite moment, but it was a cool thing to be able to do, because I made the mistake of, in my Minecraft Xbox world, that got to episode 500, and then I kept going for maybe 16, I think I maybe got to episode 523 if I remember correctly. And then I just the series just kind of slowly fizzled out and stopped. And it didn't properly get ended. You know what I mean? I didn't get a chance to like sign it off, and that was it. Whereas with my hardcore world, you know what? It was great for what it was. I loved that series. It was the right time. And now, you know, I can move on to other things, you know. So I got to give it a nice send off, I feel like. And I don't rewatch many videos, but I do enjoy rewatching the end of that hardcore video. So yeah, I think that's a good, yeah, that's a nice moment, I think. Yeah.
It's yeah, you started with 100, you ended with 10,000. Like, imagine you'd carried it on, and then like after like I don't know, after the 10,000 series, you just completely lost passion. And it's like, oh, I've done now 10,200 days. I can't exactly end it here. This is a bit of a bad way to see off the series. Like with the Bedrock one, I guess it's a bit different. But when your whole brand is about 100 days, 200 days, 1,000 days, that kind of jazz, it's like I think 10,000 is the perfect send off. And then like you said, it doesn't do as well anymore. And now you can put your time elsewhere, like Lifesteal.
Exactly.
You joined Lifesteal SMP in season 6, as far as I'm aware, right?
Yeah, so like a year ago. I think season 6 started around a year ago.
And now it's stopped, but then it's coming back. I saw a tweet. I can't remember who it was. You're teaming with. Can you tell me who you're teaming with? I can't remember the screenshot. I don't want to say the wrong names.
I'm going to be teaming with my old friend Clown Pierce and Minute Tech and one other person that has not been revealed yet.
3 question marks.
3 question marks, yes.
That's like the only one I remember. I just couldn't remember the other names, sadly. You made a few videos about Lifesteal. Obviously, because you were in it. One of your biggest videos that I have here is the getting 47 maces. So, and pick me up on the lore here. I try to follow Lifesteal as much as I can, but it's hard to just follow one specific thing with who I talk to. But as far as I'm aware, in Lifesteal Season 6, they capped it so only one person could have a mace. You found a way to get 47.
Correct. Would you like me to elaborate on how I did it?
Yeah, I have two questions, which I think you're going to answer anyways. How and why?
How and why? So... so the biggest thing is getting the mace. Everybody wants the mace on Lifesteal because it's like this crazy thing. Clown Pierce ended up getting the mace, and then he just didn't log on enough because he kind of got busy and like there's just various reasons. So like the mace kind of became this little forgotten thing that everybody kind of knew that he had, but it wasn't really a big part of content. And I remember the server getting updated, and there was somebody told me about a bug. Like you could, because the server's capped, you can only have protection 3 and sharpness 4. So. And this was like, oh, you can now, if you combine books, you can get sharpness 5 and protection 4. And I was like, oh, I wonder if other things haven't been updated correctly. So I tried with an autocrafter to craft the mace, which I'd tried before, and again, it didn't work. But then I tried it in the nether and it worked. I'm like, oh my goodness, this actually works. I have got a banger video because the mace is such a big part of everything. So I knew how to do it, but I wasn't really ready to make a video at the time. I can't remember what I was doing. I don't know if I had some hardcore videos to get out of the way, or there was some reason that I wasn't ready to make the mace video. So I just kind of had to sit on it for a little bit. Hope nobody else discovered it. So I think maybe I sat on it for a month, and then I was like, right, I can now work on this mace video. So the video was me getting 1 mace, because you don't reveal all your cards straight away. So I got the mace, and then I actually got 5 of them and gave them to some other players. I think the smartest thing was I made a completely fake explanation in that video to throw off every Lifesteal member as to how I got the mace. And the explanation video was so convincing to them because I just used so much complicated jargon that was all a load of rubbish that nobody then like going to question it and try it and be like, there must be another way. So they were never going to try an autocrafter in the nether. So, and the explanation, I made it so that, oh, this won't work for anybody else. Like, so I kind of planned all of that, still knowing that I had the ability to get unlimited maces. So then I always knew that the next video was going to be getting 47 maces, just for a bit of carnage, because you've got to remember the viewers think that the way that I explained the video is also the only way to get the maces. So, you know, it was a good way to kind of finish the season and clear up everything. But it was just a cool experience, really. Cool. I just enjoyed the project. I enjoyed doing things in Minecraft that people didn't know was possible. I think that's just as a general thing of my channel. People, everyone, or most people that watch me have played Minecraft or do play Minecraft. They know how to do a lot of things. If I can show them something that they didn't think was possible, or show them something they didn't know how to do, I think that's a cool thing. And I think that people will want to watch more. So yeah, getting 47 maces, the entire Lifesteal community did not expect that. There's no one that thought SB was going to cook up this. So I think that was a cool video. So how and why, that's the how. The why, it was just a cool thing that I knew people would be kind of impressed to see.
Is there a reason behind 47 specifically? Why not 50? Why not 45? Why 47? Is it just what you did, or?
So when I did the first mace video, I crafted five maces, I think, and I kept 2 and I gave 1 to Clown Pierce, 1 to Main Pair, and 1 to Pentar. They were told by the admins they had to destroy them because the way the maces had been got wasn't the way, like, it was finessing the plugin or whatever. So I then panicked when Main Pair he kind of leaked that he had the mace by killing someone with it before my video went out with the fake explanation. And I'm like, without the fake explanation, people might start trying stuff, or it might get patched, or all these other things are going from head. So I had 47 heavy cores in my ender chest. So I just went and crafted them all in the nether before the bug could get patched. So it wasn't like a number that I was like, oh, we're going to do that number. It was just a case of, I've got to do this before things go wrong. So yeah, I actually ended up getting more than that because in the final video, a bunch of my maces got stolen, and I wanted to give one to every player, so I had to go out and get number 7. So I probably crafted over 60 maces by the time I was done, I think.
I used the mace for the first time last week. I don't really play Minecraft, which is ironic, right? Considering I run the podcast. I don't really play many games, but like I'm working on this video, and while we were bored, I was like, oh, I can use a mace. I streamed it afterwards as well. Like, it's like, oh, a mace. So then I put this thing on that makes you bounce back up into the air, and I was just like spawned a bunch of animals and just kept macing them. I was like, oh, this is really fun. I can see why people like this. I never explored a trial chamber, never done any of that. Literally my first time experiencing it, which is, yeah.
Well, obviously the 1.21 update wasn't good enough to draw you back in.
I mean, I just don't really play base game Minecraft. It's just one of those things. Like I had a hardcore world. It just, I don't know. There's just not enough. I know it's weird to say considering how much Minecraft has. I'm not shitting on Minecraft when I say this. It feels like there's just not enough for me to do. Like I can finish the game within like 10 days. If I play 4 hours a day, I can get full netherite armor. I can enchant it. I can make villagers give me stuff, and it's just like
yeah. I 100% agree. If they updated the end, would you go back and play it?
Well, I mean, I'd have to make a new hardcore world because I deleted the other one. But yeah, I'd definitely. If there was something like, if there was a risk factor, like if they just made this new, like if they made a new dimension which was like really, really hard to explore even when you had maxed out armor and maxed out sword, that'd draw me in. I'd be like, yeah, if this is tough, like even with all of this would be interesting. Or like, yeah, even just update in the end.
Because there's just too many casual players. They just would never do something that's hard.
Well, yeah, like 3% have explored the end on Bedrock Edition, which I mean, again, isn't like, it's a bit of a flawed stat, sorry, because people just log on and play once. Like people who have Java also have a Bedrock account, so technically it's a flawed stat, but at the same time it's still a stat regardless.
A lot of people haven't beaten the Ender Dragon without going in creative mode, you know what I mean? Like there's so many. So but I think if like an ultra hardcore mode where everything was really hard, I think that would be fun.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to mention about Lifesteal or the 10,000 Days hardcore series, or 10,000 Days series, sorry? Anything you wanted to bring up about it?
Yeah, so I think I've really enjoyed being part of Lifesteal. I think it's been a cool experience. I didn't really expect it to become as big a part of my channel as it has done. Really, I think I've uploaded over 20 videos of Lifesteal over the season across my 2 channels. I've enjoyed it. It's been nice getting to know all the people in it and like becoming friends with them. It's performed well. The Lifesteal community is pretty big. I think Lifesteal is definitely going places in season 7. It's been really cool just to like hang out with the Lifestealers in real life. Like at TwitchCon, I met a lot of them for the first time. I'd only met like maybe 2 or 3 of them before that. So that was really cool to meet them all at the event and hang out with them. Then Vidcon, there was like almost 30 of us there, and that was really awesome.
Panel too.
Say again, sorry?
The Lifesteal panel as well.
They had the Lifesteal panel, exactly. And like just even being part of Lifesteal, a lot of fans came up to me that probably wouldn't have come up to me because, they're getting all the Lifestealers to sign their thing. So I think it's just been cool to be a part of. And I think Lifesteal's only gonna get bigger. Like your season 2, season 3 Lifesteal, you had like Parrot and Wreckcrap uploading videos all the time. Like Lifesteal was pretty big. I think it's kind of drifted a little bit over the last few seasons. It's not gone down, it's not really gone up, it's just kind of been steady. People kind of just, a lot of the YouTubers on Lifesteal spend like 4 months to make a video, so maybe there wasn't enough content going out. But I think season 7, I think Lifesteal is going to get a lot bigger compared to what it has been over the last couple of years, which is exciting. I'm going to start streaming on Twitch for Lifesteal season 7, which I haven't done for quite a long time, streaming. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to do 10 to 12 streams, see how that all goes. If it goes well, I'll keep streaming.
I reckon
it's a difficult thing. I think I will. I do enjoy streaming. It's a difficult thing though, because if I stream, it's hard to make a main channel video out of that, because commentary style I use when making a video is very different to when you're streaming. Like when I'm making a video, I'll say half of a sentence and then I'll pause for like 30 seconds until I get to the next bit and then say the other half of the sentence, like if I say, I'm going to go over here and then 30 seconds I'll say, mine this tree and then craft this, and then like there's massive pauses between it. You can't do that when streaming. So to make something that kind of flows in the way that I make content, to make it like as fast paced and engaging as possible, it's difficult to do on a stream because you're talking all the time, you're talking to chat, stuff like that. So interesting to see how that balance goes. And it may be a case of I have to record main channel videos separately, and anything I stream kind of will just get made into SB737 plus content. That might be how it works, but I'm looking forward to that. I think more people are going to be streaming a bit more often. There's quite a few people who kind of were tied up by school or uni or whatever who have finished and are going to be able to like do content full time. So they're going to be on Lifesteal a lot more. I think we'll be adding some new members. We haven't had that discussion yet, but we will before the season starts. So it'll be exciting to see who gets added, what dynamic, and yeah. So I'm looking forward to the next season of Lifesteal. I think it's going to be exciting.
I think like with what you're saying there as well, but with the whole pausing stuff, technically if you just pin a message in chat saying that you're recording a video, people will understand that. Like, I mean, I've done it before. I've recorded videos on the stream. So be it, I'm a smaller creator, so I guess it's a bit different. But like if you just add like a pin chat message saying, by the way, this is being turned into a video, people probably won't question as much why you have this random pause every now and then. People like kind of see it. But it also kind of reveals how you make your videos. It just depends if you're happy doing that, I guess.
That's true. It could be an idea, yeah. Like, this is a recording. I'm planning to make this into a main channel video, so the commentary style is, yeah, that could be one way around it. Yeah, true. And the thing is, like, with you're in a fight or you're talking to another player, that it doesn't really matter. Like, the what you stream, what you'd record are both the same thing in those situations. So that's a good thing as well. So yeah, that could be an idea.
Just throwing out there. Who knows? We'll see.
No, you might have SB sitting in silence for 10-minute intervals on stream.
Can't wait. I was gonna say as well with the Lifesteal stuff, I've kind of been talking to a bit more of them. As in, like, I've had Pang on the podcast, I've had 4C on the podcast, Who on the podcast, like, over recent years, and it's nice to see, like, again, like you mentioned there, the server growing, because I know like Prince Zam was nominated for like upcoming streamer or something, or something along those lines back in like 2022 for the streamer awards. It's interesting to see like how far Lifesteal has come, because I guess that's the thing with I mentioned this a few times on the podcast, and it's a funny scenario like talking to you now. I always just assume people know what I know, because I've talked to so many different people and gotten so many different experiences from different people. I'm like, you know, I'm going to use you as an example here, right? Say like I go up to you and you're part of Lifesteal and I go, oh yeah, this is, I mean, you probably know who they are, but like Smager from, or like this is Apakuna from Power Creations, right? Okay. In my head, I'm like, you both make SMP content, so realistically speaking, you know each other. But then when I realize in a deeper thing, I'm like, wait, you guys you've never interacted. You actually don't know who like maybe you know each other's names. In my world, you have, because I've talked to so many different people. But actually, you haven't ever spoken to each other, and it's such an interesting concept. So when I saw Lifesteal, I'm like, oh yeah, Lifesteal, like everyone knows Lifesteal. And I talked to some people, and they're like, and when I talked to them about SMPs, I'm like, oh yeah, Lifesteal. And I'm like, what's Lifesteal? I'm like, Lifesteal SMP? You make SMP content, but they have no clue, and it's so interesting to me. I don't know, it's so weird.
Yeah, there's so many channels, it's hard to keep up. It's so weird, you know, like I'll be on YouTube and I'll just see this person, this Minecraft YouTuber, has got like 10 million subscribers, and I'm like, I've never heard of this person. And it's like, there's just so many, you know, so many different genres. Even when it's in the same genre, you don't always do it. I mean, I do spend a lot of time doing research into what kind of works and stuff, so I spend a lot of time watching other videos, other channels, and doing that. But there's still so many SMPs, and I'm like, and so many YouTubers that do SMP content, and I'm like, I've never heard of this person. You know, it's just crazy how much is out there, and it's almost impossible to keep up. It's like, unless you've met that person or interacted with them in some way, your paths have crossed, like, you don't always know who they are. Yeah, it's true.
A little bit away from like kind of YouTube content and a bit more into events. So you played in with the friend or foe team, you played in Mayhem a little while back, sometime last year before it disappeared forever. And before that, you played in MCC. So you joined in MCC 8, you won MCC 17, and your last event was MCC 32. How comes we haven't really seen you in many events since?
I think, generally speaking, with MCC, I was only really in every 3 events. If I signed up to every single one, I'd be on the bench for 2 out of 3 events. So, which was fine. Like, I would have, at the time, I would have liked to be in more of them, but that's, you know, it's fine. There's a lot of creators and stuff, and it's still cool just to be a part of it in general. I'd spend a lot of time training for MCCs, and you know, a lot of my time would revolve around it. I'd always want to do really well, and because the community would always be like, oh, this team's going to come near the bottom. Depends what kind of SB turns up. Oh, it was always like, it seemed to be based on me. So I'd always try and like train hard and surprise people and stuff, which, you know, there was a period I think I came 7th 3 times in a row, and I think that was the case. But to keep that up, I'd have to keep training.
SB737, 7 3 times in a row.
Exactly that. I think that went around at the time as well. So yeah, I did a lot of training, enjoyed that, but it's time consuming to keep it up. And I just kind of got a little bit busier in life where I'd generally be doing something on a weekend, not every weekend, but enough weekends where the MCC date would just fall on a weekend that I wasn't available. So I'd then not sign up to that one because I'm not available. And then maybe the next month I'm on holiday, so it's like, I can't sign up to that one. And then the one after that, I might sign up, but because I ain't signed up to the last 2 MCCs, it's like, well, you've got to really be signed up to every MCC to have a chance to be in, generally speaking. So, because it's only 40 spots, but there's so many potential people to be in it, that deserve to be in it. So it was then a case of, okay, I'll sign up to this one. Not again, no worries. I'm not too bothered. Like, it's a great event to be a part of, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. And then maybe the next event, I'm not available again. And it's like, okay. And so it kind of just became like that. And really, I'd say January, February, and March are probably the 3 months I'm probably more available. But then there's no MCCs in those months. So it just became this situation where I still will be in an MCC again, I'm sure, and I do sign up every now and again, but I just never seem to be around when the events are on. So yeah, I love MCC. I think it's awesome. It's an awesome event. I don't think if I was in another MCC, I don't think I'd really train enough for it. Which again, I don't know if I want to go into an event and finish like 25th or something. Like if I'm going to do an MCC, I want to be like a top 10 player. But do I have the time to train to the levels needed for that and like watch all the VODs and do all the research? I don't know if I do. So yeah, it's a bit of a balancing act really. But I think MCC is cool. Probably will be in one again. But will I actually train for it and do well? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many like other events as well, though. I mean, kind of coming out of the ranks. I know like Buy and Battle, and Buy and Battle is quite a big one recently. It's a brand new, fresh event, but it's like it's one of those events you don't really need to train for. I've said this, like top frags will do bad because it's such a casual, fun event. Like there's PvP games, but they're not really PvP. Obviously, Block Wars. I'm sure you've heard of Block Wars. I think you've even played in a Block Wars. So there's like them kind of events. I mean, there's so many different ones. I guess I don't know. I just whenever I see like the name SB737, I'm like, you feel like you should be in events or like could be in events, but then like you never really are. Just for the reasons you've mentioned there. But so I don't know. It's just an interesting concept, I guess.
I think the other thing is they don't perform well. Like the streams don't get a crazy amount of viewers really. If you make a video out of them, sometimes it does okay, sometimes it doesn't do great. Like it just so it's almost like a thing of like, okay, I'm just doing this for fun, but do I have the time is it worth the time, or should I put that time into something else that's gonna be more successful for me? If events performed really well for me and I was getting loads of viewers and the videos did awesome, then I could justify spending the time training for them and justify spending the time being in them, because it'd be like, this is well worth my time. But it's more of just like, I'm in it, don't get that many stream viewers compared to if I just played in a Minecraft single player world by myself. So is it really worth it? I don't know. I think that has an effect as well.
Okay. I don't really have much of a build on that. Sorry to just respond with okay.
No problem.
I was just kind of curious. Moving a little bit away from the SB737 content here then. I still link to you. There's a few more things I want to touch on before we go into the Twitter questions. So, I mean, is there anything else you wanted to talk about, like with YouTube or content, or anything you wanted to say on the podcast that you thought I might have brought up and I didn't, about like SB737 specifically?
I don't think so. I think a lot has been covered. I'd say so.
Okay. I want to talk about the football match and like TwitchCon and all that kind of jazz, and then we'll move into creator merch and Blockheadz, and then we'll go to the Twitter questions, just so you know kind of the format we're going for here. Okay. So you played in the football match. You made a second channel video about it as well. I gave it a nice watch, mainly because I was featured in it for a little bit at the end for like 5 seconds.
You made a quick appearance.
I made a quick appearance. As far as I'm aware, after your first goal, I mean I know this. The second part is what, as far as I'm aware about. So obviously you scored your first goal. You took off your top and it said Technoblade never dies on it. We did the little interview at the end of the match. It's on Fulham's channel if anyone wants to go back and watch it. But as far as I'm aware, you had that prepared for a while, right? When I say a while, how long is a while?
Well, I had the idea pretty much the moment I knew I was going to be in the football match. So
okay, there you go.
Maybe a month before. I don't know how. Probably longer than a month. Yeah. I got it printed maybe 2 days before I left because I guess I could just easily print things because I've got all the machines for it and stuff. So yeah, but I always had the idea. Yeah, for pretty much since I was going to be in the match.
And you scored a hat trick. Look at that, say.
Yeah, I mean, I was when I saw the people playing, I was like, yeah, I should score a hat trick here. I should do well. I play football twice a week. A lot of these people don't even play football. Like, I should do well. But the longer the match went on and I wasn't scoring, I'm like, this could just not go how I hope it was going to go. But yeah, once I went into striker, got that first goal, which just kind of was a weight off. I got the goal. That's all I wanted was just to get one goal, then I could do the celebration. Then it was a case of it just kind of fell into place after that, and the other two just flowed nicely.
With TwitchCon as a whole, I just wanted to bring up the fact that was in an SB737 video. Oh, sorry.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But with TwitchCon as a whole, you don't really like before. And again, correct me if I'm wrong here, but before this TwitchCon, you hadn't really gone to many conventions, had you? Like you went to TwitchCon and Vidcon back to back, but before that, when was the last time you went to one?
So I think in 2023 I went to TwitchCon in Vegas. I also went to Amsterdam TwitchCon that year, which I enjoyed both of those. And then before that, I didn't really. The last time I'd done any events was before COVID. I used to go to when Insomnia was a thing in the UK. I used to go to that event pretty much like
really bad now.
Exactly, like every April and every August. But like that event's kind of died a death, hasn't it? So
yeah, it's come back, but it's so like they haven't paid enough any of their employees or anything. It's a whole thing.
Just a disaster, basically. Yeah. So I don't think I'll be going to Insomnia anytime soon. But yeah. So I guess there just wasn't a lot. There's not any good events in the UK. I think TwitchCon has always been cool. I just never considered going to TwitchCon before like 2023 really. And it was okay, but it was kind of more exciting at this TwitchCon to see all the people, like all the lifestealers and stuff. And then with Vidcon, with even more lifestealers being there, it was really cool to kind of do that. So that was like an extra cool thing to do. And like I hung out with other people as well and stuff, but it was cool to, I'm not really being part of like a community of YouTubers like that before really.
I've always said this as well, and I think it's kind of what you hinted at there, is TwitchCon is great, and I love TwitchCon. I mean, I had the panel, MCC Live, all that kind of jazz, right? But the thing is, you don't go to TwitchCon for the people. You don't go to TwitchCon for the convention. You go for the people. Like I went in 2023 to Paris, and I didn't really know anyone, and we did a round trip. Like you got the Eurostar in the morning, got the Eurostar home same day, Saturday, and like it was not very good. And then Rotterdam last year was quite good, but then like this year when it was all community, like people I knew, creators I knew, people I could bump into, chat to, all that kind of jazz. Like this was probably the best year because there was just so many people from our community there. Like the convention itself, you can do that in an hour, 2 hours, right? Especially if you don't. Like I didn't really. The booths were cool. I was gonna make the effort to go up to them more this year. I didn't go up to a single one. The artist alley, yeah, it's great. The big booths though, I just don't really care too much about it. So like like this is the first time TwitchCon where I stayed both days till TwitchCon closed because I was like actively doing stuff like interviews, meeting with people, that kind of jazz. So I think that's kind of what you were saying there as well. Like even if unintentionally, is that the convention is alright, but it's why you go for the people.
Yeah, I think that's with any event. I don't really have much interest in looking around the booths and looking around the event. Any event really, it's just doesn't really interest me, I guess. But I go to see YouTubers, to meet YouTubers. Good for networking. It's good for catching up with people. And then I go to meet fans. Like that's probably the main reason I go to events is to meet fans. Which I don't know. Like TwitchCon, I don't really have a lot of fans that meet me there because I guess I'm not on Twitch as much, but also I don't really promote that I'm going to TwitchCon. But actually at Vidcon, and since being part of Lifesteal, I think that's made a difference. But yeah, especially at Vidcon, I got loads of people coming up to me and wanting pictures and stuff, because I actually promoted that I'm going to Vidcon, and it's the first time I've done an event in America. Well, not the first time, I guess. It's the first time I've done a meet and greet. I like an official meet and greet, I suppose, in America. So yeah, that was a cool experience. So I think meeting fans, it's not like a case of I want to just meet fans as an ego thing. It's more just a thing of like, I think it's nice if there's fans that want to meet me to be able to give back a little bit, and see like the real side, that it's not just a bunch of numbers on a screen. These are real people that enjoy watching the content. So if it's a cool thing for them to be able to get something signed or get a picture, like that's something. It's just a nice thing to give back to your viewers, I suppose.
I've always said this as well at the conventions. Like TwitchCon feels very much more like towards the Minecraft event community. Like it's kind of like because they're more Europeans, they're more like MCC Live, all that kind of jazz. Whereas Vidcon is always really SMP-esque, and I think that's why you probably felt that difference as well. Because like people know who SB737 is, but like if you're not in the event community, people don't really know your face. They might know you. I think I walked up to someone who was next to Jumper Who. I know who it is. I just won't say their name. And I walked up to him and I went like, once you tell me your name, I'll know who you are, but I have no clue what you look like. I'm sorry. And it was someone from Lifesteal. And like I got talking to them and because I knew who they were. But I think that's the same with like at VidCon, people actively watching SMP content, for instance, Lifesteal, they know what you look like because they're actively watching your content. Whereas at like TwitchCon, they know you. They've probably watched a few videos, but if they're not actively watching it because they don't really watch SMP content, they won't know or recognize you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to describe it.
But yeah, no, I want to go to to America at one point. I really wanted to go to TwitchCon San Diego this year, but at the same time, I'm like, I have the funds, but firstly, can I warrant it? And secondly, I have no one to go to, and I don't really want to go, with, and I don't really want to go to America on my own is the problem. So it's like a double-edged sword. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. I think I prefer being in an event in the EU anyway. I mean, I'm just not used to the American culture, I guess. But I enjoyed VidCon. Don't get me wrong. Though. Exactly. It's just easier to get to. There's no jet lag. It's not as big of a commitment. And yeah, so I think the European events are cool as well. But yeah, I had an awesome time at VidCon. So yeah. I
guess my logic behind this is, for instance, like I went to Ireland like about 3 years ago with my parents, and like I really injured my back on the last day, and it was horrible because we drove, right? So it took ages. Like we drove up to the boat, got the boat across, blah blah blah. It took maybe about 12 hours to get home. But the thing is, if the same thing happens in Rotterdam on the last day where I really hurt myself, say I played in a football match and I really injured my back, I only have to like firm an hour flight back to England, and then I can go to the hospital if I really need to. But if you're in America, at the minimum, you have to firm an 8-hour flight while in pain. You don't want to go to the hospital while you're there because of the bills and stuff. So it's like again, that's just one example out of many. But that's my thing. Is it's just nicer being closer to home in that sense.
Yeah, I agree. It's just popping over and popping back.
Exactly. Right. Let's talk about the little, I guess, companies you own. Right. We touched on them a little bit at the start, but we haven't really dwelled into it too much. Which one do you want to talk about first? Let you choose.
Let's go with Creator Merch.
Creator Merch. Okay. So I kind of knew what Creator Merch was. I got introduced to a lot more at the football match, which is very cool. And also you were wearing like a VidCon, you was wearing a jumper, I believe. You wore a little bit at TwitchCon. What is Creator Merch?
So Creator Merch is a merch company that I started probably coming up to 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer to be honest. So back in, I think 2021, probably 2021, maybe 2022. I think it's 2021. I did my first poster drop for a hardcore series. It was a signed poster. It was actually Minnie's idea to do it. So we did a 1,000 of them and then sent them out to everyone. And then we did it again for 2,000 days. I think we did 2,000 posters, signed them all, sent them out to everyone. So that was really, it was cool. And I then I joined Friend or Foe. So we decided, we'll do posters for Friend or Foe. So we put those on a different website, which wasn't called Creator Merch. It was just a bit more of a generic name. But we also had Clown Pierce and Quiff, involved in that. So Quiff came and signed them, Clown Pierce came and signed them, me and Minnie signed them, shipped them out. And then we kind of shortly after that, we did some merch for Parrot. We did a little bit more for other creators, and it was just kind of, I think EZY and Chazza were early ones as well we worked with. So it just kind of became this thing of like doing merch for other people. And I was like, okay, well, we need to brand this correctly. So came up with the name Creator Merch, which I thought it just sounds right. And I feel like it fits what I'm trying to do here. So purchased the domain Creator Merch, rebranded the website, all that stuff. But I think the reason why it just kind of it wasn't like an accident to just start a merch company. I think the big reason that I wanted to do my own merch was just like I'd done merch with other websites, and you end up like not getting much back for what you do. I feel like I'd sell a bunch of hoodies and they'd all be listed at like $50-$60, and then it'd end up getting maybe like $1-2 a hoodie, and like
really.
Yeah, like there'd be ones where you just get nothing, or like t-shirts, like for what the margins there, you wouldn't get a lot. And the reason being with these companies is because they're not merch companies, they are distribution companies. So they don't make the merch themselves, generally speaking. They just are linked to some print-on-demand company. So whenever they get an order, they forward it to the print-on-demand company, and the print-on-demand company then makes it and ships it out, which it's fine, it works, but you've suddenly got an extra company taking the margins down. And getting something made in bulk, if you get 1,000 of something made, or 100 of something made, or 10 of something made, it's going to cost a lot more per unit for the 10 of something made compared to per unit of 1,000 of something made. So because these are just print-on-demand companies that are it's been forwarded to these distribution companies, are forwarded to the print-on-demand, there's a lot higher cost per unit, I suppose. So that was kind of the thing of like, okay, well, I'm going to do my own merch. And then I was like, well, I understand YouTube. I understand YouTubers, if that makes sense. And I understand what people want to do with their content. So I just felt in a good position to make a merch company that kind of rights a lot of the wrongs that I see in the merch world, even just to the point of like helping a YouTuber promote their merch. Because a merch company doesn't understand, generally speaking, they don't understand like the structure of videos or the whole audience retention side of things or how to integrate something in. You know what I mean? So I feel like I can kind of identify a little bit more of how can a YouTuber release merch that their fans are gonna like. That's, you know, because that's the main reason a lot of YouTubers release merch is I want to give something cool for my fans that my fans are going to enjoy. A lot of the time, it's not a YouTuber being like, oh, I want to make money. I want to make loads of money from merch, because, you know, merch isn't, especially in the Minecraft community, merch isn't the main source of income. You know, ads from YouTube videos are generally the main source of income. So yeah, I think having that mindset of, okay, let's make something cool for somebody's audience that they're going to like. Let's know how to integrate it in without compromising their content and making it just look like some cash grab. But then let's also make it so that the YouTuber gets as much as they can per unit as well, you know, like get a good split. So I've tried to do it in such a way where the YouTubers get a higher split than any other company. So that's kind of that was kind of the mindset, and I don't know, it's taken a lot of time to kind of integrate everything that I wanted to, and I think Creator Merch is now in a position where I'm a lot happier with it. About 4 months ago, we kind of released the rebranding of the website Creator Merch with the rebranded logo. That had taken about a year to get all sorted, of the website being completely rebuilt from the ground up. New logo, like there's so much involved in that, and yeah, it's something now that I'm happy with how the logo looks. I'm happy with, you know, I'm happy to tell people about Creator Merch, and I'm proud of it. You know what I mean? There's a point where I show people the old website and be like, this isn't quite as good as it could be and stuff. Whereas now I think it just all looks a little bit more professional. And we also kind of moved, probably in the last year, a lot more to printing everything on, like, in-house ourselves, but making it feasible so that printing on demand can be done. I suppose before that, a lot of the time we were mainly focused on posters, but now, you know, we pretty much will do anything: hoodies, t-shirts, hats, key rings, mouse mats, you know, like all kind of forms of things. So it's been a lot of getting the machines in to be able to do that, and then learning how to do them and learning how to use them and do it in the best way. So I think that then makes Creator Merch be more of a merch company, where the things that are bought on Creator Merch or any merch done by Creator Merch is made in-house. So it's got that quality control check. We can make sure that it is to the right standard. But then also the fact of, like, it takes away the risk of working with any creator, because if you work with a creator and you think, oh, this person's going to sell quite a bit of merch, and then they might only sell like a few units, you don't have to worry about a big wastage. You haven't like ordered in 100 hoodies ready to ship out, because you literally, if an order comes in, we order in the blank in that size and we print on it, and, you know, like, you can get it on next day delivery, the blank in, we print it, and then the next day it's out. You know, in a few days it's out the door to the customer. So there's no other middleman involved, which then helps the margins be better for a creator. And then we can pay a creator more. There's no wastage, so it's better for the planet, and it just feels like a better way to run. But to make that work, it's taken a lot of working out as well, and still, you know, always trying to make it more streamlined, make it better. But I think, yeah. So that's what Creator Merch is. It's a merch company where we print stuff on demand, and we try to make the best merch possible whilst giving creators as much of a return as possible as well.
I do really love how, and like to emphasize that, how it is a creator company run. It's for creators by creators. It's so good. It's like, it's such a good way to like promote it as well. Like, you know, making that very, very clear, you know.
Thank you. Yeah, and I know I'm not the first creator to start a merch company, and I won't be the last. But I'm not saying this about every single creator that starts a company, but I think a lot of them don't do it when they kind of do it towards the end of their YouTube career. They're like, they've had enough YouTube, and then they kind of start a company, and that's fine, you know. That's they want to try something different. That's cool. But I feel like it's different that I'm kind of still very active on YouTube, still doing relatively well on YouTube, and just kind of active in the community and stuff. I think that helps, because I think it probably makes people more likely to want to work with me, because I'm still active, still doing other stuff, and I enjoy Creator Merch, and it's definitely become a higher focus. But I still don't want it to take away from YouTube. I'm still a YouTuber at the end of the day. I'm not a business owner. I'm learning all the time how to run a business, but I'm a YouTuber, and I'll always be a YouTuber, I think.
I guess a bit of a weird question. I don't know if you want to or be able to answer it. How exactly do you make it so everything's printed in the exact same place? For instance, like the hoodies and stuff. Is there just like a setup to make sure everyone got the exact same merch?
I guess we just have a system for it. So it's when you're making garments and putting them on the machines and stuff, you just make sure you line up the correct bits in the same place every single time. And you have different things, like almost templates of where to put something based on the size of it to know that it's in the middle, it's the right rotation, it's the correct print. So it just becomes a case of, as long as you stick to the same method, it'll always look exactly the same and be printed correctly.
Okay, fair enough. And you've worked with like a good few creators as well. I should probably put up the website here for you to... I had everything else up except for this. There we go. Yeah, so create merch for creators made by creators. And if I go on to creator specifically, so you worked with a Cookie God, Addycraft, Boo, I'll read out like something like a Boodle, yourself, Mini, Mog Swamp as well, like friend of foe. Yeah, there's a lot more than that. This is a bit of a weird one because I guess the same question could be flipped on me in the podcast. How do you choose who to collaborate with?
I guess a lot of the time I ask them, like, I ask them or Mini will reach out to them, or we'll get recommended someone. And I can't like work with every creator. I can only work with a creator if I'm confident they'll sell some merch. Really, that's got to be the bottom line. There's like, okay, well, I've got to be fairly confident in my head that they're going to sell some merch, because it's a lot of work setting up a drop for it then to not sell any. So there is that factor, but. Yeah, I mean, I know so many YouTubers and have so many streamers and YouTubers on Discord, so I'm always, sometimes I'll just ping them a message, or sometimes they'll message me and be like, oh, Claw such and such did merch, I'm interested. Mini brings up a lot of contacts as well. It's one of the things when we're at events, we make sure to kind of chat to people about it, so people do get interested from events as well. So I suppose that's probably how it happens. I'll work with anyone if I'm confident they'll sell merch. Then that's only really the thing that I have to worry about. Yeah, like I said, can't have a load of like people's time be put into setting up a drop if it then doesn't isn't profitable, basically.
And so if I was to go now and I went to SB737 here and I bought a beanie, right? So I'm guessing you don't just have like a crap ton of beanies sitting around. Would you just print it and send it out as soon as possible? Is that how that works? Yeah,
the beanies they're embroidered, so I've got an embroidery machine, so they'd get embroidered and they get sent out.
That's really sick. That's really cool. And then you also have this hand signed poster, so I'm guessing that's like you just have a few of those still sitting around.
Yeah, so with posters we kind of have to estimate how many a creator would sell and then send them to them, get them signed, get them back. So with Friend of Foe, we got loads of them in stock, and we just kind of been selling them steadily over the last year or so. Just letting that kind of trickle in, really.
Cool. Oh no, I love it. That's really, I love the idea of creating merch. It's very, very cool, and I can't wait to see you grow more. I saw you're trying to work on Twitter a little bit more as well, which is cool. Like doing little interviews at Vidcon and stuff, which is really nice.
Yeah, trying to build a bit of the social media presence,
which is good. You can only do so much by word of mouth, sadly.
Yeah, exactly. So it's it's a learning curve because it's different from YouTube, but it's a cool project to be part of.
What about Blockheadz? What's that?
Blockheadz is something that really, I mean, me and Mini have worked on together, but I'd say Mini's done most of the work on it, a lot of the setting up time. It was kind of his vision, really. And yeah, it must be a year or two, maybe longer. It's maybe a couple of years old now, actually. And the concept behind it is a plushy square cube plushie heads. They are like extra large. They are big plushies. I can't think of the dimensions off the top of my head. I want to say 8-inch by 8-inch. So they're pretty big. And just a cool, unique product. There wasn't really another website that did them. So yeah, Blockheadz was just another idea, really. It kind of happened around the same time as Creator Merch. They almost kind of run side by side, but they are like completely separate entities. But there's a lot of crossover that sometimes, we work with a creator on Blockheadz, we generally end up working with them on Creator Merch, and vice versa can happen. But I can't say too much, but Blockheadz is getting a bit of a what's the word? A bit of a revolutionize, I suppose, is the word. It's getting a bit of a touch up. A few things are going to be changing. A few new things are coming to Blockheadz as well. I'm going to be releasing something new on Blockheadz as well soon, which is not like what I released before, not like a plushy kind of thing. So I'm not going to say too much more, but Blockheadz is also getting a lot of attention, and next month's going to be quite a big month for it.
I am so gutted I didn't get that Coryway one. I didn't get it at the time because I didn't get around to it because like my money was going elsewhere. I'm looking at it now and it's like it's so
cool,
cool
isn't
to have. It is how I feel like you could be here forever going through logistics. I don't expect you to do that, and probably you don't want to either. But how exactly do like these plushies get made? Because I'm looking at like the McNasty one now. There's so much detail that goes into it. Even your one like has added sunglasses. Like how exactly? And they're so cheap as well. Like £30 for a plushie of that scale is really cheap if we minus out delivery costs. Like I guess how does the detail and stuff? How much effort goes into that? I don't know how to word my question here, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we have an artist that does the concept art, and she's just very, very talented at making something look really good, but being super clear in like the instructions of how it can logistically work as a plushie. She does an absolutely awesome job on that. There's a lot of back and forth between the artist and the creator, you know, on making sure that both of them kind of have the vision that they're wanting, and then that then gets sent to the factory make a sample, see if we're happy with it. If we're not, we'll keep going until we get something that we're 100% happy with, and then you end up with a product that's exactly what you want. The beauty of Blockheadz is because we do it on a case of we put them on sale and then people can buy them for 30, 45 days. You know, it's a limited time drop. Then once that's done, we put the order in. Once that order's in, then the plushies go into production. So you suddenly get the benefit of that, like I said earlier regarding creator merch is done on demand, whereas with Blockheadz, because you're ordering multiple, a larger batch of plushies in one go, you can get a lower unit price. So that allows us to keep that cost low, but still be a really high quality product because, people's fans, not all fans have loads and loads of money to spend, but they may still want to get something cool. So yeah, keeping the cost as low as possible is super important, really.
No, yeah, I think it's really sick how much you get involved in all this kind of stuff, and like it's interesting as well because I guess I see why you do it, but you keep the sold out plushies on the website under previous releases, even though like there's no like current releases, I guess. But it's nice to see. I like that because you can go back and see like who you've worked with, and for creators, it's a bit inspiring as well. Like if I'm this big creator looking to get something like this out, and I see you've worked with all these people, then I can reach out and be like, yo, I want my own plushie.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good showcase of who we've worked with. And it also like reminds people, that these are limited time drops, so unfortunately if you miss out on it, you do miss it. So it kind of, helps people helps the creator build a little bit more hype for their thing, because they can show like, yeah, this is the case. Once it's gone, it is gone forever. So yeah, it helps build a little bit of hype as well. And I think it looks cool to just kind of see all the plushies all the drops that have come out before in one place. It's just kind of cool to look at as well.
No one's selling the Coryway plush on Vinted or eBay. I just checked. Heartbreaking. Really is
That
limited
is
time. With that, then, I feel like we've done a pretty good job of covering everything, unless there's something else you wanted to speak about.
I think so. I guess a small factor, this is circling back to creator merch.
Okay.
We don't just work with the creators on the website, but we also run the store for Fireball Friday that they released recently.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which is cool, because, again, it's kind of every time a creator comes to us with like a product we haven't done before, it takes a bit of time to work out how to do it, but we always want to try and accommodate what a creator wants. So like shot glasses, which we'd never done before, but we managed to find a way to be able to do them. And then like we run all the Lifesteal merch, so we run that store. And I guess my SB737.store is also run by creator merch. So yeah, we do quite a few other places as well, which is, it's just cool to try and accommodate the needs of every creator, but it's every single one is like a different thing, if you know what I mean. They always have like different visions, so meeting that is cool, because then it helps us learn more to bring more to other creators as well down the line. So yeah, it's a cool thing.
It's nice when the investment pays off, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Before we wrap up for today, though, we do have some Twitter questions, so we'll go through those. The first one here comes from Mindblocks Fusion. Has he ever planned to continue his Awesome World series? Me and my sibling used to watch it a lot years ago.
I do think about this on and off every now and again. I don't think the series would ever properly return, just because that content just doesn't really work on YouTube now, and it's a shame that I have to focus on what works and stuff. I have thought about doing like a one final video or returning to the world or something like that, but it's just never quite happened. But yeah, I reckon there'll be at least one more video on my Awesome World. I just don't know when it'll be.
The next one then comes from Karma Lama. They asked 3 questions, but I'm going to only pick one because I do want to ask like other people's ones, and there are a few. Hey, SB Monique here. A couple of questions, but again, I'm only asking one. I like that one. What would 2012 you think of what you've built now?
He wouldn't believe it. I don't think he'd believe it. Yeah, like definitely wouldn't believe like 4.5 million subscribers and just probably just even at the standard of the video now, you know, so much higher production quality. Yeah, would not believe it. I think he'd be I don't know. Proud isn't really the word because he wouldn't have done it yet, but he would be he'd be excited that that's his future, I suppose. So yeah, I think yeah, just impressed by growth and the quality of the content. Yeah.
The next one, this isn't, they said this isn't a question. This is from Alyssa. They just wanted to say that you were goated in season 7, so keep it up.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Another question then this is from Alpha. SB737, will you ever make a new hardcore series?
Yes, but not in the same way, and whether it becomes a series depends on how it performs the first episode. So yeah.
Official Space J asks, when is the next Reddit video?
Reddit videos are a weird one because you can make amazing title and thumbnails that get really good clicks, but the AVD is also always really bad on them. Like people, just keeping people watching a Reddit video for longer than like 4 minutes is really difficult. So I don't like making content that people are saying they don't want to watch it, but people don't generally want to watch much of. So if I can crack the code on making Reddit videos more entertaining and more engaging to keep watching, then maybe there'll be more. There will still be more anyway, but yeah, I do them more if people watch them for longer, but because they don't, it's a bit of a tricky one.
That's fair. The next one is from Power Gaming. What was his favorite video that didn't get many views in comparison to some of his others?
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to look through my catalog and see. A lot of the time, videos, yeah, do get decent views that I think deserve to get decent views, or they do eventually. Maybe they don't always get it straight out of the block, but yeah, what's kind of not got a lot of views that I kind of was hoping would do. I think the Weather Machine one actually, relatively speaking, didn't do that crazy, but I, put a crazy amount of work, and I think it was such a cool project. So that one was a little bit like, I really liked that video. I think Friend or Foe, like the first episode of that on my channel, which was quite a while ago, it kind of didn't really do that well when I posted it. And then I kind of had to not clickbait it a little bit, but I had to make it look like I'd created I was starting a new Minecraft world, because then all the people that watched my hardcore series were like, oh my goodness, he's starting a new world. So then they all clicked on it and watched it. So up until that point, it didn't do well until I switched the thumbnail out after maybe a few days. So I think yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment that Friend or Foe didn't do better the season 2 of it on the main channel, because I was kind of confident in it. But yeah, I'd say probably Friend or Foe. I wish Friend or Foe season 2 had done better, because then it would have become main channel's series.
I realized we didn't really talk much about Friend or Foe. Did you have anything you wanted to say about it?
It's gone on a little bit of a hiatus, mainly because when I set up Friend or Foe, I made sure everyone was in the same time zone. So we were all in the UK. I think Clown was in EU, so it was literally 1 hour maximum between us. Then Clown moved to Canada, Quiff moved to New Zealand, and it just got really hard to schedule a time where we could all do it. But it's kind of, yeah, been gone for a little bit of time, but it will come back, I think, this summer, realistically. Probably the question I get asked more than anything, especially at Vidcon, every fan was like, when's Friend or Foe coming back? Well, it will be back soon.
Nice, okay. I think we're going to make that the last question, because there are a few, but we kind of brushed over them throughout the podcast. Thank you so much, SB, for joining me today. It's been an absolutely amazing podcast. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Before I do the outro here, though, I always like to give this opportunity for you to promote yourself. So in the event that someone's listened all the way through and finds you really interesting but doesn't know who you are, where can people find you? And promote anything. Feel free. You can find me on YouTube by searching SB737. As I said at the beginning, I make Minecraft videos. There'll be a new series starting soon that's Minecraft hardcore related. A lot of Lifesteal stuff, which is very cool SMP with a lot of cool creators on. And that's about it, really. So thank you for listening all the way through. And thank you very much again for joining me. No problem. Very good. This has been InsideMC. Thank you all for listening. Stay safe. Don't eat too much bread. Pieces. Bye.